Hey everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. This is part 3 of a 3-part series where I go through Shem Phillips' North Sea series of games. Today we're going to go through Explorers of the North Sea, the third in the series, starting with Shipwrights, Raiders, and now Explorers. It's a fun story where you can see a progression where you're building ships in the first game, then you're taking them out to expand and plunder in the second one, and finally here in the third one, we're now venturing out and exploring away from the mainland that we've set camp up on. Explorers of the North Sea is a game designed by Shem Phillips for 2 to 4 players on its base game. There's an expansion that adds a 5th player into it as well. But today we're just going to go through the rules and setup of the base game, not the expansion Rocks of Ruin. So join me as we set up and play through Explorers of the North Sea. Hey everyone, welcome to a quick setup for 3 players for Explorers of the North Sea. I'm going to go through the components very quickly, as well as the setup so that you guys can hopefully get started a lot sooner. The components. There's a starting area. There's 2 of them, and they're double-sided. Player boards, or captains as they are. You've got additional Vikings, longships, and outposts for each player in color. You've got different resources, so we've got pigs, chickens, horses, cows, sheeps, and the gray one. Oh man, I forget. Some livestock that'll come up. I forget which one it is. I think it's lambs, maybe. I'm not sure. And so that's your original components. Then you've got these additional enemy ship tokens. You've got the additional draw tiles that are going to come out throughout the game. And on the other side, these are 2-sided, so it'll show you enemy ship, and then on the reverse side is victory points or even lose people. Okay, set those down over there. Okay, so those are your components. To set up, everyone's going to take a color of their choice. They're going to place their longship here on the shoreline, placing 2 Vikings in the ship, the rest on the shoreline waiting for exploration. You're going to deal out 2 of these champion boards to each player. They're going to select one and keep it for themselves, setting the others to the side. Then you're going to deal out 3 tiles to each player, putting the remainder tiles for draw up here in the stacks off to the side. And then lastly, your 5 outpost tokens. And then this winter token, as it is the first player marker. Okay, so everyone's going to get that, and that's your initial setup. How to play the game is on your turn, as you're going to go through, you're going to take your actions. Those available actions are going to be loading people into your longship, unloading the longship, moving the longship, move Vikings, or raid a settlement, transport livestock, or construct an outpost. The game is played over rounds, and the game will end once all tiles, 48, have been taken. So once all these tiles have been depleted and have been flipped over to create the North Sea, the game is going to end immediately. So there's 48 tiles, and depending on the number of players, everyone should have had equal turns. Once completed, you're going to score up the game. You're going to score your livestock, your outpost, your destroyed ships, your raided settlements, how many Vikings died, your controlled islands, and your captain cards. So let's take a quick peek at one of these captain cards, which also has the bonuses and scoring on it. So delivered livestock, as you see, hopefully, if it focuses, are worth for every 1 delivered, 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, and 21 victory points. Constructed outpost, starting at 2 for 1, 5 for 2, 9 for 3, 14, and 20 for building all 5. Destroyed enemy ships, 1 victory point each. Raided settlements, 1 victory point per military strength. Viking deaths, incremental victory points. And then controlled islands. Then there's the bonus action down here at the bottom for this particular captain, the Shield Maiden. I'll gain 1 additional victory point for each island I control. So throughout the game, I might want to try to focus on controlling islands just so that I can maximize the bonus of this particular captain. On your turn, you may take up to 4 actions, as indicated here. So loading your ship, moving the ship, move 1 or 2 Vikings, and constructing outpost. Costs 2 actions to do, as indicated on your player board. Okay, so let's talk about those actions in a little bit of detail here. So loading your longship. When loading the longship, the following rules will apply. All Vikings have to also share the location or the tile of the longship in order to be loaded onto the ship. To unload, you can't unload in the ocean, so if this tile were here, you couldn't unload out here in the middle of nowhere. You can only unload on land. Okay, put that there. Camera keeps going out of focus. I'm not too sure why. Unload the longship. So when unloading your longship, all Vikings and livestock must be loaded onto 1 piece of land, onto the same tile. So when you're unloading your ship, you're actually unloading everyone. So you're not pulling off just 1 guy or 2 guys, you actually have to unload all of them. When you're moving the longship, you have to move to do it. You can only move 1 tile space. So if this tile were out here like so, then this is a movement of 1 into the next tile. You can move the Vikings if they've been unloaded from the ship, again, following the same rules. So if this tile were, say, here, you could move a Viking from here if they were unloaded 1 space over, and that's 1 move action. Transporting the livestock. So they can't move themselves. There has to always be at least 1 Viking on the ship. And each longship holds up to 3, I think. Yeah, there it is. 3 total pieces. So that could be 2 Vikings and a livestock. That could be 1 Viking and 2 livestock. So at most, you can only ever transport 2 livestock, keeping that in mind while planning your strategies throughout the game. And then lastly is constructing the outpost here. And those are constructed on tiles that look like this. And I'm going to cover the tiles right now. So the different type of tiles that can come out are this one, which has an outpost on it. So when constructing an outpost, here's where you're going to do it. Here are the little lambs, I guess, these are cows. So if this comes out, when you draw up this tile, you're going to put a cow onto its icon like so. This one, chicken tile. So you're going to place the orange chickens on this tile when it comes out. These little goat llama looking things. Oh, that's what they are, goats. So you're going to put the gray goats onto this one when it comes out. The pig tile, place the pink pig on this one when it comes out. The sheep. And then lastly, enemy ships. So when this tile comes out like so, you're going to take one of these markers and place it on there like that. When a player then moves into this location is how they can then attack an enemy location or an enemy ship. Once they attack it, they'll pick up the token and reveal whether they've got 1 victory point at minimum or if they've also lost a Viking. So losing Vikings can be dangerous because, as you see, there's only a finite number for you. But also attacking those enemy ships does get you victory points, which is necessary to win the game. Okay, so that's the initial components, setup, and how you're going to play your turns. Okay, so taking turns. Everyone should, until the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, have 3 tiles in their hand. So I've initially dealt out 3 tiles to all players, and on their turn, they're going to take one of their 3 tiles, they're going to play that tile. Okay, so let's say I played this one, and they have to connect. So example, this wouldn't be valid because it's like so. So I would have to be able to connect land, or I couldn't connect land out in the middle of nothing. So land has to connect to something unless I connect from the water side. So you got to kind of configure this around and figure out the best way to make it connect. So I'm going to play a tile, do up to 4 actions, take those actions, and then draw up a tile back into my hand. All right, so on that note, guys, let's go ahead and look to see what a couple of turns will look like to give you an idea about how the game is played. So this game is sort of a resource, so a collect and deliver type of game with a little tile laying component like Carcassonne. So player 1, in that same kind of breath, let's take that original tile that I just pulled out. Let's see what else I have though, to see if there's anything better. Okay, I got some livestock out here that I could draw up that I could try to grab. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one. So let's grab this tile, placing it out here like so. Okay, so that's my turn, and then I'm going to take up the 4 actions. Oops, sorry, we gotta put the livestock onto the board. And then this is going to be yellow player, so I'm going to move 1, 2. Those are 2 actions so far on my turn. So that was move my long ship. So from here I can load or unload. So you know what? Let's go ahead and unload. That's 3 actions. And then load right back up. Action number 4. Get in there. There we go. Okay. And then this person's going to draw up a new tile, putting it into their hand. The next player is going to take their turn. Let's see what they got. Okay. Enemy ship and some pigs. Let's have them throw this one out there. So they're going to place this one. Let's see if I can get that. Ooh, there we go. That fits pretty nicely. Let's take an enemy ship token, put it right there. And now they take up to 4 actions. So player red, they're going to take 1, go right here into the enemy ship location. One caveat, in order to attack an enemy ship, you must have at least 2 Vikings on board. So luckily on this turn, I did have 2 Vikings on my ship, so I can then move, which was 1 action, and then I can now attack the enemy ship, which does not cost an action to do. It's part of the movement. So I've got 2 people on board. I'm going to now attack the enemy ship. So now it's sort of a gamble. Do I get victory points, or am I also going to potentially lose a Viking? Well, I've attacked this enemy ship. Let's find out. Now, it's an option. I don't have to. I can actually go there and not do anything. But draw it up. This person did get a victory point. So I'm going to put it there, keeping it face down so that other players don't see what I have. Okay. Looking around, there's not too much else for me to do. So let's get ready for the next turn. So let's see, that's 1. Attacking didn't cost me anything. So let's go here as our second turn. And let's kind of wait to expand out this way. That'll be the end of their turn, and then they'll draw up the next tile. And player 3's turn. Looking at what they have. A lot of land masses here. So let's build this one. Okay. Now I see that red ship has kind of come over this direction. Yellow's off up over there. I'm going to place this one over here, if possible. Oh, wow, what a great placement. That's going to be a pretty large island, making it a little bit more difficult to take control of. And to take control of islands, you got to place outposts there. But I'm going to definitely try. So, placing my token, I'm going to go 1. I'm going to, 2, so it takes 2 to get there, and then unload. 3. So while I'd like to build an outpost on this turn, it does cost 2 actions to build that outpost. But, slight caveat to building the outpost, each tile can only be connected to 1 outpost of any player color. Meaning, if there was already an outpost of another player, I couldn't place it immediately next to that one. I'd have to figure out a different area. I have to have 2 Vikings on land, immediately surrounding the outpost location, but they can also be on the exact tile, so even 2 on the same tile. These Vikings can be on any of the 3 connected tiles. That's the other piece. There must be 3 tiles placed before an outpost can be constructed. So in this example, though, we do have 3 tiles, so we've got at least 3 pieces of land mass to construct the outpost. And because I have 2 guys there now, I would be able to do it on my next turn, but because it costs 2, I won't be able to on this one. So not only do I get victory points at the end of the game for constructing the outpost, but it also contributes to the control of the island at the game's end. So to get scoring for controlling an island, I'll need to have outposts and Vikings on the islands to have, quote, control. So I won't be able to do my final 2 actions, so I'm just green player's gonna hang out and hope that yellow just goes back and delivers his livestock instead of trying to unload, build, and then things like that. But when they unload, I can then capture the livestock. So when he unloads, remember, you must unload your entire ship, thus making it vulnerable for capture. So on the next turn, let's say this person were to go 1 space here and share this location and then unload to build the outpost. Well, on green's next turn, they could then pick up that livestock and run off with it. So just a small risk in doing that on their next turn. Anyway, guys, that's set up in a quick playthrough of Explorers of the North Sea. Stay tuned for a moment for my afterthoughts. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that brief setup and playthrough of Explorers of the North Sea to give you an idea about, how to dive in and how to start playing. So my initial thoughts on this game is it's pretty fun, but just okay. Of the 3 games in the series between Shipwrights, Raiders, which if you watched the second part of the series, by far my favorite, this one, probably my least favorite. And this one is sort of forgettable in the grand scheme of things. So, if you've seen some of my videos, you'll notice that I usually give a solid endorsement for the games that I own. This one, I can't say, yes, run out there and get it. It's a must-have into your collection. This game, I like tile placement games like Carcassonne and others, so that's why I initially added it into my collection. The one positive that I can say about this game, really, though, is that it is fun to go through, to play out. The nice pick up and deliver mechanics are really cool. There's nothing groundbreaking into the genre, though, like he did with his Raiders game. But if you enjoy the other one, Shipwrights and Raiders of the North Sea, you go ahead and add this into the collection just to complete the series. So it's definitely worth a look in that regard, but at the same time, this is probably the one that we get to the table the least often. Not that it's not a good game, it's just not incredible or groundbreaking by any stretch. My other gripe about the game itself is the box. So I did end up getting the expansion, but it was so hard to stuff it into the box that I had to pull out the initial insert and really cram it in. And if you've learned anything from some of my other videos, I like organization, I like good inserts, and really with this one, that was a throwaway thought and no thought was given to it. I guess some positives on the game are, I really do like the captain mechanics to the game, or your player boards. Very neat. It adds a little bit of additional strategy to go into while you're out there exploring, what you're kind of going for. It really kind of keeps you on path and helps you streamline it a little bit. But those are my thoughts and my impressions of this one. Again, great to have in this series, not great as a standalone game. So take it as you will. But those are my thoughts, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Happy to answer them. Thank you again for all your support. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching.